Hey everybody, today I'm going to make a zucchini, what do we call it? Zucchini kind of stir fry, but that's not really the right word for it. This is something that we often had in the summer in New Jersey. So when I was growing up, produce was really limited to a very short period of time, fresh produce in the summer. We had a lot of canned vegetables, a lot of frozen vegetables, because that's all that was available. Fruit, you didn't really get good fruit until the summer. But in New Jersey, in the summer, the produce is the best, right? Jersey tomatoes, Jersey peppers, Jersey corn, peaches. Um, and my mom, for a short time, had a garden. So she would grow her own zucchini. We had fresh basil. She grew tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers. And I'm going to be sharing some of those recipes with you now. So this first one is made with zucchini and fresh basil. I'm going to throw some tomatoes in. Sometimes we added tomatoes, but it's not always. And then it's mixed with a mixture of egg and Locatelli cheese. It's really good. It's a nice side dish. I've often brought this to potlucks when there were vegetarians and I didn't know what else to bring. And it's always been popular with people. It's easy to make, just a few simple ingredients, and it's really good. So let's go to the counter. I'll show you the ingredients and then put everything together. It only takes a few minutes. Okay, so here are the ingredients for the zucchini stir fry. I don't know what we're calling this. So I have 3 zucchini just that I've had in the refrigerator. It's really time to use them. They're looking pretty battered, but it's going to be fine. I have an onion. I might use the whole onion. I might not. It all depends when I start to chop it up, how much what it looks like. Those are the main ingredients. I have a couple cherry tomatoes that I've had. I just want to use them. So I'm going to throw them in just to give it a little color. I'm going to use 2 eggs and some Locatelli cheese. Same thing that I did for the spinach chicken soup. So beat the eggs, add the cheese until it starts to thicken up a little bit. And then that goes in at the end because the zucchini is going to create a lot of liquid. So this helps to kind of solidify the whole thing. Salt, pepper, and I have some fresh basil. This basil plant is a little over a month old. I've picked the big leaves off of it. It's really not going to grow anymore for me, so I'm probably going to pick most of the leaves off of it and use that up today. I like a lot of basil in this dish. All right, so next I'll meet you at the stove. I'm going to chop these up into chunks, chop my onions up, mix the egg and cheese, and I'll chop the tomatoes up. My onions have been cooking for about 10 minutes. So I have it on a medium-low heat. And what I'm looking for is just to get some nice caramelization, to have the onions be soft, but be careful just not to burn them. I ended up using the whole onion, so I quartered the onion and then just sliced it into chunks, added a little bit of salt, and like I said, it's on a medium-low heat. It's been cooking for about 10 minutes, and I think I probably want to let it cook for maybe another 5 minutes or so. Here's my zucchini. I quartered the zucchini and then cut it into chunks. So I'm going to add that in. So I'm going to let this cook for a little bit. It's going to release some water. I want it to soften up slightly. I'm going to add some salt. And then I'll put the lid on and let this cook a little bit longer. Here's the basil. I picked quite a few leaves off of my basil plant. I don't think my mom put this much basil, but I think it'll be fine. And then here's the eggs. So I beat 2 eggs and then I added some Locatelli cheese. Sorry, I don't measure things, so I just did it until I got it at the right consistency. Play with it. Just be aware that Locatelli is salty, so that's a large part of the salt in this dish. I do add some salt. And then here are the cherry tomatoes, which I quartered. Okay, so I'm going to cover this and let it cook again on a low heat. You want to be careful not to burn it. All right, it's looking good. I can see that the zucchini is starting to cook. It's starting to soften up. I like mine a little bit on the crunchy side, but from what I remember when my mom made it, it was usually pretty soft. So I'm going to say make this to taste. Make sure that you're tasting it as you go along till you get it at the consistency that you want, the doneness that you want. I'm going to add my basil leaves, just tearing them up a little bit. Oh, this smells so good. In New Jersey, we only had basil in the summer. It's not like now you can buy a basil plant at Trader Joe's and have basil year round. So we only had basil in the summer, and this is one of the many things that we made with fresh basil. Okay, I'm going to add my tomatoes now. Just a few tomatoes for color. You can definitely add more. You can add whole tomatoes, larger tomatoes if you want different colors, different color tomatoes. But I would say use fresh tomatoes. Don't use a puree or passata or something like that, because that's going to completely change the dish. And next is the Locatelli and egg mixture. So 2 eggs. It's probably about a 1/4 cup of Locatelli, but like I said, I just eyeball it. So be conscious of the salt. It is very salty, and if you're not familiar with the flavor of Locatelli, I would say use it sparingly until you taste it and make sure you like it. Okay, so there's not a whole lot of liquid in this pan right now, which is good. I'm gonna just let this cook for a little bit. And then we'll taste it. Okay, it's looking done. The egg and the cheese has kind of solidified. Going to give it a little bit of a taste. Yeah, tastes good. Still a little bit of a crunch to the zucchini, but it is softened. You want to be careful that you don't burn this. As you can see, it's pretty dry in the pan right now. So keep it on a low heat. And when I make scrambled eggs, I like my eggs really kind of on the softer side. So I don't mind if my eggs are not, super hard. Adding a little bit of black pepper. And that's it, it's done. So pretty simple dish, just a few fresh ingredients. It's a hit with vegetarians. It's a nice side dish. You could eat it for breakfast even. So try it. Let me know what you think. Remember to like this video and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Thanks for visiting Appa's Kitchen.